Hey, everybody. It's good to be back. We're actually kind of going for a late Lego building stream today. This is going to be kind of a different one. So what we're doing today, I think we got all the right channels on and everything. Yeah, this is kind of unusual. So, um, I've mentioned before I'm moving in pretty soon. So I've got about 2 more streams where my goal is to not really open up anything new. So instead, what I'm kind of doing is I'm looking at sort of what I've got around the house that's like sort of in semi-complete states that I can kind of finish up without opening up any new bags or new boxes or anything. And pretty much the 2 closest candidates at this point are 2 of the earliest projects that I did on stream all the way back at the beginning of last year. So one of them is this. It's my sort of my Mediterranean quarter, my blue quarter. Let's take a look with the camera here. Ah, that's a nice clean look. Switch these up. So what I do is this is part of my Lego city. And if we kind of get a little bit closer here, you can see we've got the sidewalk. It's 3 high so that we can put Lego road plates in front. It's just a very distinct street. It's got lots of blue, white, and gold. So this is a complete set. I don't think there's any pieces or anything that I'm waiting on here at this point. This is actually a set from Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. You can see it's sort of I've turned it into sort of a bathhouse. It was originally a palace. I had to get a couple more pieces to finish this dome up here that you can see. And I have taken care of. We also made some sets from Disney's Lego Wish, which was another Disney film from a couple years ago that gave us some cool sets. And we even have 1 or 2. Ooh, shaky cam. 1 or 2 from Lego Dreams gave us some nice sort of Mediterranean or Middle Eastern palaces, again using that blue, white, and gold theme. So I'm going to set this bathhouse off to the side where I can sort of see it and I know my standards. But the sets we're working on today are from Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. So we'll go back over to here, over to here. So what we're looking at first, we have 2 sets up here. We have the Fight for the Dagger, you can see in the top right there. And then we have Battle of Alamut. And these sets are actually primarily famous because they are so far the only Lego molds for camels. So both of these sets have resale values that are super duper high, of which almost the entire value is actually just the camel. So we have the light tan camel in the big set and the dark tan camel in the little set. There's also an even tinier set that has ostriches, which I don't have with me right now. But these 2 sets actually are going to work pretty well for us, and I'm particularly excited about the Battle of Alamut because this set is going to require very little modification on the fly, at least, for me to be able to use it on my Mediterranean quarter. Now, what I don't really know for certain is which of these bags belong to which sets, but I kind of think that this one over here is the Fight for the Dagger, and these minifigures are definitely the Fight for the Dagger. I see the white cloak from the lovely lady of the film. And I think that these 2 must be for the Battle of Alamut, where we're going to get our start. So first things first, where are my camels? Things you don't expect to hear in the U.S. East Coast too often. By the way, if I lose my power during this stream, hey, what's going on with my stream title here? This is supposed to say something entirely different. This isn't Pokopia. This is Lego Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. building for my Mediterranean district. And yes, I know that Persia is, I don't know what time period Prince of Persia, Sands of Time was set in. I know that Persia and Iran are not Mediterranean, but this quarter, this sort of, I'm making a little bit of a, you know what, I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to mess that up one way or another. This whole moving thing is also why I am not using a face cam today, because sort of I've got chaos all around me. So, okay, so let's pop on in here. So we have the light tan camel. Is that the right one for this set? I think that's the right one for this set. And then where's the dark tan camel? Here's the dark tan camel. So right off the bat, there's our two camels. There's our sort of our big prize. Also a black bear that I must have... I think this was originally missing from the set that it came in, and I had to order it separate, so I'll set that off to the side. Actually, no, I won't. Like, you know, let's open this guy up. How long has it been since you've seen the air, guy? I don't think there were black bears in Persia, but oh, he's kind of dwarfed by the size of these camels. Those camels are huge. So we've got some nice animals there, and then all the rest of this is just leftover parts from our various Lego Wish sets, which I'll need to go through to make sure the right things get to the right places. But that's an off-screen activity, and I actually kind of want to knock this out so I can do some of that tomorrow. I think that our music stopped playing too, so let's get over to the music. So, let's make sure everything is going well enough here. Yeah, it looks fine. So, what's our battle plan for this set? The battle plan for this set is, there's sort of two structures here. That's a little hard for you to see. There seems to be sort of a main palace building and then these walls. And I actually think I'm going to be splitting this set up. I think that the main palace building is going to be part of our Mediterranean quarter, and the walls are going to go to our desert layout, and then with very little, if at all, requiring much modification. So for the most part, this is going to be a pretty straight build here. The only thing I was thinking about was whether I wanted to potentially include that gate in our Mediterranean quarter. But I kind of think the answer is no, because again, that's got a lot of dark tan, a lot of clay color, whereas the main build kind of does not. This is not a very good page fit here, so let's try that again. There it goes. So, oh, partly it's because I keep going in the wrong direction. Here we go. So let's get our camels off to the side. We'll have them here in the back, where you can see them if you're really looking hard. Right now they can go over there. Camel, another camel, and our friendly black bear. So let's jump to it. We're building the wall first, so I'm going to try just opening this bag, and we'll see if this... As you can see, this set was not sorted out at all. I can also see that it's a little bit dusty, so I'm going to need to kind of wash it off once we finish the build today. That might make me be all sneezy and stuff, but we're going to find out together, aren't we? Again, kind of unusual for me to be doing a more intensive... Well, I wouldn't call this intensive, but it's not a tiny set to be doing a Lego build like this on a Monday, but it's just kind of what I want to have going. Here on the U.S. East Coast, we have a pretty severe weather storm coming through, so... Oh no, we have already our first broken dark brown piece. I'm going to need to keep track of those as we go through the build, because they are from the fateful era where dark red and dark brown were very brittle, and it looks like we've got a few of them. And it looks like this is not properly sorted out, so I'm going to have to open up both bags. I'll open up this one kind of over here and see if we get a little bit lucky. And I would also really like to have my music be playing the whole playlist, please. What do we need to do to play straight through? Can I play all? Maybe it just likes to stop after that one. Okay, now we got some interesting music going on there. More broken brown pieces of Lego. But I think we're pretty okay here. And again, as we can see, this isn't a massive, massive set. It's big, but it's not huge. So right off the bat, here's our Prince of Persia himself. I don't know what this guy's name is. I never saw the film and never played any of the video games. Something we seem to be looking for him is he should have basically like a cross guard, like a place where he can stick both of his swords into his back. I don't see that quite yet, so we're just going to set him to the side and say, hey, might be something for you to do there later. And then keep on going. Are we building all of our minifigures off the bat? That's kind of unusual, actually. Again, modern LEGO building practices, they'd kind of draw out the minifigures a little bit, make you work for it and wait for it. But the cool part about this is that we're going to be getting quite a few minifigures that we're not used to seeing. So here's this guy. It looks like he's supposed to have sort of a nice black cape in addition to his sword, and he's got a scowling face. In fact, I don't think he's got the right face, so we're going to take his face off. Here's another one. Yeah, these two have their faces mixed up. So this one's got sort of cat claws with a nice little armored shirt. And I do remember, I actually have a fourth. We mentioned 3 Prince of Persia sets already. I've actually got a 4th Prince of Persia set that I remember distinctly being interested in because it kind of came with one of these minifigure guys. With the turban and with the cat claws, which I just thought were just the coolest thing at the time. I haven't seen this hand blade, though, just the cat claw version. So, here we go. This guy's complete. Put him back there. We're supposed to have a saddle for the camel, which here that is. And again, it's for the light tan camel, first of all. And we'll keep going. We've got sort of what looks to be like an evil vizier character with a very nice little gold and purple motif. The gold on his shirt is a shiny pattern. He's complete. And then we've got 2 of these very generic soldiers with shiny spear weapons. So, and sort of I think this kind of hat is called a toque, but I might be wrong about that. And they've got a nice little guardsman pattern as well. So I don't see the spear for this guy quite yet, but I imagine it'll come up as we start building. And then this guy, he has his spear, but I'm missing his dark red pants, which is probably a pretty easy piece to replace. So now I'm asking some questions about, like, did I make sure that this lot had all the parts when I bought it or not? I don't know. Oh, and then I guess there's this guy who looks like he might be a commoner rising in revolt or something like that. Again, I'm going to use some careful language here. So looks like he's complete with his little sword. So we built all 7 of our minifigures right off the bat, finding only a couple of them complete. But again, everybody buys this set for the camel, make no mistake. So here we've got our cart, which we don't want to put before the horse. That was Anyway, I actually think this is something like a ballista cart, so let's get going with this. And again, normally doing chaos builds like this is pretty frustrating experience. It really slows you down, but here we seem to have such a huge proportion of the pieces still intact that, or it's such a small set, frankly, that I don't think it's actually going to be that laborious. So we'll just kind of talk about the build and what I think might be happening with the build as we go through it. The other thing is these instructions are kind of the sort of the annoying, highly saturated, even though I'm looking at them right off camera here. They're a little tricky. And I know that my light level is also not perfect for the cameras here, but it's all right. Okay, so we want one of these here. We've got these almost flaming munitions or something like that. Again, initially looking like they're going to be incomplete, and that's okay. Kind of surprised. This is a non-standard use of LEGO parts here, in that this pole is actually put in this set at an angle, but it is actually flush. pretty interesting. I guess the idea is you can literally flick. Yeah, you can flick it forward. Okay. Well, we're going to need a switch, which is our space for completed things and which is our space for non-completed things, since it looks like we're going to be missing a relatively significant amount of pieces here. But again, that's just going to get us through the build even quicker. So simple little arrow cart there. And now we go on to the gate. So we'll clear a little bit of space right in front here. Actually, we'll clear a little bit farther back where I can see it and you guys can see it. It'll be like right here. This current song is giving almost like Assassin's Creed or something. Okay, let me get that one. And yeah, it would have been a little bit quicker to properly disassemble this set. But what I've learned is if you just start grabbing parts, it all comes together eventually. The part count is so low here to begin with, so. And again, when you find little structures of multiple parts put together, like that one I just picked up, just makes it all breeze by a little bit faster, which is nice. We'll be in and out of this set in no time, I think, and then we can talk about what, if any, modification we're going to do. But right now we're working on the gates rather than the main building, so as I said, since this is going to the desert, and the desert is an ungridded area, we don't really need to worry quite as much about what we're going to do. And again, I get lots of spoilers. I get to jump ahead of the instructions pretty repeatedly just because I kind of have all these already connected parts to work with. And whenever I find some that are connected in a way that I'm not sure about, I'm just going to take them apart. It'll all come back together eventually. Just kind of back here. Hearing the sickening crunch of parts creaking and groaning. Need a big pillar of these. Again, nothing particularly interesting here besides that the set itself is so rare. That's all right. I guess the other thing I could have done is I could have called this one of those just chatting streams, since I don't think we'll be making any particularly special decisions. But there we go. There's the rest of those. A lot of old Lego pieces here. Probably including some molds that are no longer in production, which is always kind of a neat experience. It's like 5 on 1. Back here. Again, 5 on 1. There we go. I'm thinking the part count here is probably something like 800 or 600. 800, spot on. Put those down, then we start to do this. Again, if I ever pick up the piece that I'm looking for and it's already connected to something, I just take it right apart. It's the quickest way to just keep it moving. I need these. I didn't realize that this particular arched brick had been in production that long. Thought it was a relatively more new piece. So normally an 800 piece set would take me about up to a little under an hour and a half, maybe even closer to an hour. When we have all the parts kind of spread out like this, as we found, it's going to slow my rate down pretty dramatically. But I'd still say we're looking at sub 2 hours for this. And then again, when we move on to Fight for the Dagger, we're talking about a set that's already so small that I really can't have my rate slowed down that much. Famous last words, but yeah, where are we putting these? Like there, already in there. Some flowers with some more cones. And it looks like this gate isn't going to be too particularly tall, which is also a nice feature. I'm also noticing that I'm pulling from pretty much exclusively the area right in front of me, which implies that these bags were separated a little bit. And that's, again, going to make it even just a little bit faster for us to get through this build, because it's going to slightly increase the rate at which what we're looking for is right in front of us. But thank you, eBay. This is not a recent acquisition. I actually picked this up quite some time ago. Now, here, we've got these turrets. They're clearly mirror builds. So our objective is I'm going to set aside the instructions entirely. I'm going to work on them right in front of myself here, just to kind of get them nice and symmetrical as well as we can. What goes here? I think we're looking for this piece. Nope, not that one. This one. With a 1x2 underneath it, like so. There we go. And then it looks like probably going to have another turntable to go on top there. But also it might be slightly asymmetrical, so let's leave it like that for right now. And then we have to figure out how is this going to be applied. So these all went right there. This is in front, which tells us this is going to look a bit like that. Easy enough. It looks like at least this clay color is not particularly brittle, which is helpful. And then these, we notice they have a little overhang, so again, we can kind of predict how they're going to attach to the set pretty effectively, which then allows us to skip through the next couple pages of instruction. Here we've got nice gold handles on the doorknobs, and we do have both doors, so that's definitely going to be neat. Although it looks almost like, oh, they had us turn it around. And that slots in very nicely. Not sure if I've ever worked with this giant door piece before. It's perfectly nice. Go, and we flip it back around again. So here's this build. We can see, yeah. We're going to start buzzing through a bunch of steps, just quickly checking that I did in fact put all the right pieces down. We put those and that, and we put those down. Just blitzing right on through. Now this is kind of fun. We have our first real play feature of the set, besides just the mere fact that the gate opens. Or we would if we weren't missing a piece. And again, I kind of have a running log in my head of the pieces that we are missing. So it's not quite so bad. Looks like we've got barrels for overturning various unknown substances onto any interloping attackers. There we go. Just like so. Oh, they do actually want us to do this like so. So I'll find one that's got, you know what, I'm just going to take this one. Currently, I'm still looking for that white turntable, but it hasn't turned up quite yet. Possibly once we see where it's going to attach, we'll have a better chance of actually tracking it down. Just went there. And on the turntables, we're going to have two more of those 1x2 tiles, which is kind of interesting. There's our turntable. Look at that. And we can see what it's going to turn into is trebuchet launch spots, one of which we found a little while ago. Or a catapult. I don't know what the difference between a catapult and a trebuchet is. I'm sure somebody online knows. Yeah, and a long time passed, right, Anakin? It's been a long time since that movie's been around. But he's gone great places since then. Okay, so pretty sure we're missing that other catapult or other trebuchet. But then in terms of those 1x2 tiles, trying to track those down. And again, just as a reminder, we've got the camel, and that's when folks find this set, when they track down this set, it's usually just that they're looking for the camel. Most of the rest of this, replacing it, is going to be pretty much a breeze if we even do it at all. But so there's our first one, and then we're going to put in a little bit of detailing here as well. So I'll put two of these. And that's still got clutch power even though it's a bit broken. And then we start adding some gold accents as well, which is very nice. We're using these 1x1 round little things as trebuchet munitions, actually, which fairly common. I remember that we see usage like this even in like things like Lord of the Rings sets or so on. So we'll just put that right there. This one right there, so anybody can grab those if they need to. And that was it. That was already sort of the gate completed. And again, this is very nice, but all of this dark clay brick kind of color is not really going to work with our Mediterranean color with all those white and gold and so on. So we're going to set that to the side, knowing that's headed off to the desert, and we'll keep moving with some of the other builds for the set. So now it looks like we're on to one of the two side walls with this third bag here. Pretty straightforward. And we're already kind of more than a third of the way through the first set of instructions, which is pretty nice. I think this one goes on the other side. Just a pretty slow, calm build here as I work through all these mysterious pieces, figuring out where I do and do not have the relevant bits. Looks like we can see it if it's right about there. Now I think we're pulling from the left side a little bit more, which is... Go, got one of those. Need another 1x2 with a pin extension in white, which should be a pretty distinctive piece. Let's get these big pillars out of the way for now. There, we found this spear, so that completes another one of our minifigures, luckily. This guy with his silver spear. Usually when I'm saying things like that, I have a much bigger set laid out in front of me. This is really not that... I mean, again, 800 pieces is a pretty snappy build most of the time. But always a little trickier when you're missing. So here is our other... Looks like we're going to have some kind of mechanism here to hold this up, so that goes like so. Keep going. Better keep this in front of the camera where we can see it, or I can just put it back like I did before. There we go. And then we start building upward almost right away. 2x3 white brick. Six. Then we're going to identify. So again, the way that I'm getting quickly through this particular way of dealing with the fact that I have lots of loose and missing pieces is just, I didn't even bother taking it apart. When I see identifiable pieces like this 2x4 tan plate, I just grab them. Now we've got these long plates, which are going to be right here. Looks like we're filling in a mechanism of some kind right off the bat. It's going to be oriented that way. And then a wedge plate, and we'll start adding some elevation over here. Along with any of the cheese slopes in white that we haven't placed down yet. And then over here is some sloping, showing this is going to be sort of the edge of the wall. There we go. Anakin, I'm very curious. So, so what caught your attention with the stream today? Since you're familiar with Prince of Persia, were you browsing Lego and you saw Prince of Persia, or you were browsing Prince of Persia and you saw Lego? It feels like that's kind of two kind of different options there, which is pretty funny. This is definitely a mechanism where you can slide through this tile here, and we'll see what they're going to do with that exactly. There we go. Yep, so that goes in and out. Then as you start building up, we'll have another one of those little layered pieces, like so. And we're going to add a lot of texture to this wall build. And I think that what this is that we're actually building something of a parkour stadium for the video game character to hop on up. That's kind of my guess here, which is pretty cool. It makes me think of like an Assassin's Creed game or something like that. Here we need 2 1x1s. And again, you can already see my rate of building starting to increase pretty significantly just as we use more and more of the parts. So there's fewer and fewer places for me to look through. This looks like it's going to be the crown. So I'm just going to temporarily set that like so. And just see what happens. 1x6. 1x2. No, first I need another 2x3, which is going to look like this, meaning this goes over here. And then back there, 1x4, meaning this is probably going to go like that. But we'll just kind of set it there for now, and we'll see. Yeah, I think all of that looks accurate. The only thing I'm missing is another one of those parkour steps, so let's put that in. See what comes on the next page. So it looks like I had this one right, but not that one. So we'll find another piece of that length here. Replace the parkour steps. This is actually really neat to imagine a minifigure going up through there that you can make it extend and retract. That's a cool play feature, and I'm excited to conserve and preserve it. Now we start needing 1x2 bricks with pins in light tan. So here's one. I bet if we find another piece like that, we'll find the other one. Yep, here's the other one. And what that's going to do is it's going to hold the wall together while you're playing with the play feature, I think. Here we go. This. Here's this. And a 1x3. And what I like about this is it's a very scalable build. So back in the day, you could have gotten multiple of this set, and you could have made this gate go kind of on and on almost. Head to the back here. Connect up these connection points. So now I can make the parkour steps on either the inside or the outside of the wall, depending on sort of my play desires, which is going to be a pretty cool... I think that was a pretty neat way to do this play feature, which I'll definitely talk about when I end up posting this set onto my Instagram in the next couple of days as well. So those are out there. We're looking at the back, and everything basically lines up the way we expect it to. We want to make sure that this whole wall segment can connect if as needed. So we're just ransacking the existing parts for little pins. And now we'll start building the top of the wall. And we have these flat segments here. So we'll be using any existing segments as clues for where these ones might go. Starting with this, it's definitely right here. That would probably be the wall on the other side. This one we already have placed with the appropriate spikes. So I'm thinking this one's right here. And we need one more blank one right here. 2, 4, 6. We still got all of our necessary spikes, which is great, actually. We need a white cheese slope, though. Which I imagine is a piece we're going to run out of. Maybe not. 2, 2, 1, 1, and 2. And this piece should actually be gray. Looks like we needed this one. And now we have sort of that crown structure that we were talking about before. So here it goes. Checking all of our part placement, and then we need a brown cone for this flagpole over here. We plop it right down. Then we'll finish the flagpole with some decoration back here. Looks like it's this. And that's pretty neat. Always cool to see somebody's coat of arms, somebody's tower. which for us will be waving off in the desert. Let's center this, though. Gotta have some precision. There we go. There we go. And that's it. That's the whole segment. And we weren't missing any pieces for this one, which is definitely nice. Didn't really take us too long there either. Slit that off to the back. Bring this together so we can keep seeing what we've built already. There we go. And then presumably right on to the next segment. Yep. Which, again, the more and the more that we build is just going to keep advancing more and more quickly. Guessing this is going to go like so. I need another 1x4 white tile, which we have. Keep going here. And now I need a swivel, which will be like this. Let's put this back where we can see once again. Nice clean view. Put this like so. And we already know how this is going to connect, so let's just get it connected like that. Two by three white brick. 1x6, 1x6. We have all four of our white cheese slopes there, so we still haven't quite run out, which is great. Get some more of this detailing. So that's going to be like so, here, here, and here. Then we're up another level with some more detailing. And again, this time we don't have the nice sort of parkour environment we were creating. That play feature is just for the slope here over on the left, in and out. Then we go up yet another level. And we start to have these. 1x4. And another one of these back here. Yep. Taking all of this off. Now we need our gray swivel, like so. That attaches, gives us some stability on the top of the wall again. There we go. And one more 1x1 tan brick is over here. I think that completes that level as needed. So now we'll flip over to the back. No fancy mechanism to finish this time, so we'll just brace it. And again, we're adding our black pins, although we seem to be just about out. Here's 1, 2, 3. Not sure if we've got one more black pin rolling around, but again, that's just about the single most easy Lego piece to replace. Here's a cheese slope. We're going to need that, I'm sure. So we won't worry too much about that black pin quite yet. And then we'll make the top layer. So we've got a 4x6, 4x6, and a 4x4. Actually, it's two 2x3s, isn't it? We'll do a little bit of detailing here, which is going to be mostly done for us already. So this time what we have is a removable wall segment that you can sort of kick out of the way. And that's pretty neat. So again, we can demonstrate this. It's simple, but it's an effective play feature. So again, I'll talk about this when I'm going over the set as a whole. I guess they want it like that. I mean, I guess I could, you know, just orient this the way they actually are telling me to orient it, and they'll make it a little clearer. All right, clear enough. Let's place these down. There's this one. This one. This one. And this one. We're about to get to find out whether we've run out of cheese slopes yet or not. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, 8 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only missing 1 so far. These are all going to belong on the crown, as we noticed before. We should have 1 little white cheese slope floating around here, and if we don't, I will grab it from my spare parts because, again, that's a pretty easy to replace piece. So floating, we need 1 black pin and 1 white cheese slope. Pretty easy so far for this gate. Let's plop down the crown and the banner. See if we've got a flag around here again. Yes, we do. Although this time it looks like we're missing our brown flag connector piece, which that is actually a little bit more of an annoying piece to replace, but there's a chance that I have one. So we're just going to set that right down. Cool. All right. Is that going to be the completion for that gate? It is. So let me take 1 second and see if I can locate at least the cheese slope and the black pin. I won't be right back. Astonishingly easy replacement. So, white cheese slope, black pin, and as I mentioned, we won't have one of those brown connectors yet, but I can at least set this here. And if you didn't know what you were looking for, you'd barely know something was off. See if we even remember that's missing by the end. And that is probably going to take us through the end of the first couple pages of instructions. And then we open up the second. And now we get to build the building. So the very first thing we're going to do is it's time to check the space profile of the building here. So again, if we think about our bathhouse here and what the street looks like, I generally want 1 to 3 studs worth in front to create the street out of, which, since we're on a 16 deep grid, means that the rest of our build, we have about 13 pieces to work with, plus or minus maybe 2, I would say. So pretty much just looking, if you look in the top right here, just looking at the top of what we're doing, we can basically check and see, is this going to be too big or not? And so we have an 8 wide, so that's 8. 13 minus 8, we've got about 5 studs left to work with. And then I'm going to look over at the front of the build and see how many more studs are they going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going to be great because, first of all, oh, see, look, here's a staircase right here. First of all, 6 is still within the margin of error. It gives us enough space that we can have both a sidewalk in front, and also some tiling. But actually, in this case, we might even build the front of that sidewalk into the road. It's hard to say. So I'm not concerned about the space profile. This set is going to be a perfect fit for our street. So let's get into it. We're going to go ahead and start by building some of this stuff down here. It's not going to be particularly clear what we're working on until we get a little bit farther. Now we're at the pretty part, the white and gold. So this is going to be a little bit more thematically appropriate for us. There we go. Also, we want to know what is our width when we're working on this, and it looks like our width is 8, 16, 24, and that's fine because we can allow up to anywhere between 16 and 32, basically, as the width of our building here. So this is going to be 24, which means we're going to have a little bit of free space to the side, but we'll be able to account for that when we're building out the model. Nice big arches underneath the main portion here, which is just going to give this more support once it's assembled, which we like. And we have all of these empty pinholes, basically, that would have allowed us to connect this up with our walls if we weren't separating the build into 2 totally different spaces. And then we even have some blue pieces underneath. So actually, here's the first one. And for the second one, we'll hold off. Archway. Then it looks like they want us to go ahead and make our second staircase here, which is going to be pretty straightforward. Unless it's missing, which it might be missing. I think it's missing. Okay. Well, let's see what it is exactly. The most identifiable piece here is these. It's the slopes. Here's the other one. So what we're missing here is pretty straightforward. It's just a 2x6 tan plate and a 1x6 tan plate, which are very easily replaceable. Not things I'll have on hand, but still replaceable nonetheless. Put our little minarets on there, find another one of these guys, and we can connect that right up. There's our grand entryway to this building. And we know where this is going. And then we're going to have both of these here. Looks like it's probably going to be something like that, but we'll let them tell us, oh, this is not going there. We have something like a trapdoor here at the front of the build. Something like that. Creating a base plate for this set is going to be kind of interesting. I'll have to do some thinking about how much I'm going to elevate this up. I'm actually probably just going to sit it on a flat. Yeah, I'm thinking this can almost be like a plaza. Maybe even a water feature would be rather attractive. Yeah, we'll turn this into a fountain right in front here. That'll be very attractive. These are going to go like so. Again, very few pieces really left in front of us here, so getting quicker and quicker to work with. In fact, I think it's time to move all of this over to the side. Let's keep our black bear in camera. Ah, looks like we have a special dagger here. Is this like the dagger of time? I'm guessing it's going to kind of go hidden, maybe like so. Let's get this one over to the side. And again, as we start putting down all these white pieces without the dark brick color, this one's going to look a lot more stylistically appropriate to our city street, to the particular city street. Lots of big prefabricated pieces, like those pillars that we saw earlier. Making a bunch of guesswork here on what pieces go where, but I think we're going to be pretty accurate. Like, again, it's not particularly challenging to figure out. And I bet that's going to be like so. But we'll see in a moment here, won't we? 2 of these to make this rounded out. Actually, 4 of them. We're making sort of a well. Yeah, I'm really excited about the idea of making a fountain area in front of this. I'll come back and think about part ordering tomorrow. And then, yes, we have all of this with a nice jewel, and indeed, there it goes. Another neat little play feature. Plus, we have some sort of display stands and things to the side. Like, oh my goodness. All right, so this one is here, and that's got a golden scorpion. Not a very friendly fellow. Fits right in there. What about the other side? We've got some beautiful drinking cups. We'll have to see if just any LEGO minifigures are allowed off the streets and into this place. And then we're just going to start building up that front area that we've already kind of preemptively built up. Double checking where things are as we go. All right, it does look like I got my rows mixed up a little bit. So, do this. Fixed. And then over here, same thing. Bringing that all down a layer. Got some nice frame braziers in front of the build. Very classic. Can't be an imposing fortress without some frame braziers. I need one more of these. There we go. Kind of an interesting song we've got going on there. Flip this along. Song's giving sort of an air of discovery as we get the castle going here, which I think is pretty neat. Where did I put those? Looks like in the back here. Next question is, how tall are we going to go with this particular build? Looks like this is maybe the halfway point, or maybe even a little bit less, which is good. That'll add some nice height to what we're doing here. Looks like I still need one more of that tan piece. I was going to say that would be a little bit concerning, except then I immediately found it. So. Adding some gold styling here to break up the brick tan color. The nougat. I think its color is called medium nougat, if I'm not mistaken. Add some more of these. And now we're up to the next level up. We got our braziers going there. The nice neon orange color too. And then we build up the second half of this building. So let's keep going. Let's try to raise that up a little bit so we can see where we go from here. So few parts left over to my left side. Just telling me that we're going to be able to breeze through what's left of the build. Like so. Plants with spikes. I'm like, where are my giant pillars going? I want to use my giant pillars. I guess patience will be rewarded with knowledge, hypothetically. Almost sent that flying. Now we need 1x3s. More of these. Something's definitely going in the back of the build here, but I don't know what yet. So we just keep building upward. More braziers. Now we'll flip it around. All right, what are we doing back here? This is a weird song. This is a really freaky song that's playing. I'm like, did I choose this? It's this is like my desert playlist. So this song is now like you're lost in the middle of your desert wanderings, and the desert seraph are ready to come take you away, willing or otherwise. Like, oh gosh. Okay, so now we're going to make a throne. A total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dark red pieces in this entire set, minus the ones that belong to minifigures, including the guy who's missing his legs. That's okay. He used to be an adventurer like us until he took multiple arrows to his legs, I guess. And it looks like we're missing one pole arm here. So we'll remember that as well. Just for the weapons rack. Aha! Pillars for the back. That's going to explain everything. Yeah, so we really didn't end up missing any structural pieces. In fact, the most structural piece that we wound up missing was that guy's legs. Everything else is sort of distant accoutrements at best. Get the back of this connected up. Now we're into sort of the final level here. Does look like I might be missing one long tan clay-colored piece. Now that's finally an actual structural piece that we're missing. So I'm going to leave that off entirely. Set it off to the side so I remember. I'm at risk of forgetting that. Unless I've used it instead of this 1x6 somewhere, but I think that's fairly unlikely. We'll find out pretty soon. Or instead of this white one. Hard to say. Probably not. Definitely structural. Yeah, this is like perfectly sized. It perfectly fills sort of the empty city slot that I was hoping to have it fill, which is very exciting. Aha, I know what's coming next. The pillars! Up they go, improving the tallness of the build overall. There we go. It's 1, 2, and then these back here. Not much left now. Better not forget that I'll need this minaret cap back here, probably with this on top. All right. Now, we're going to unify our architecture. So if I move this out of the way, again, you can see the minaret spikes. This is where we start pulling it all together, which is always nice and exciting. 1, 2, 3. Like this. And then we have little short ones in front. Like this. And we have this whole thing, which is all golden, with a bunch of spikes. And we'll set it up the way that it's apparently set up, which I think looks like this. That is a wrap. That is the building, which again, I think is going to look just lovely on the street with our other ones. Overall, our number of missing pieces was pretty low. Also, I have this extra 1x2, which I think I can probably identify its location if I think a little harder. I think it goes back. And you have the ability to, you know, sort of make this one continuous courtyard, one continuous build. Yeah, it's a cool set. Very cool. And we were pretty much right on the money that I said, with about an hour and 10 minutes, despite being slowed down by the incomplete state of the set and the various missing pieces. So I'm just going to quickly do a scan to see if I can figure out where this last 1x2 nougat brick goes, because it doesn't really take that long to flip through these few instructions. It's probably way back there somewhere. And then we'll look at the other instructions for our various missing pieces. Not on this one. So it must be on this one. So we know it's not on the crowns. It's not on either of those. Could be there. So where that is, the either right here, right there. Nope. We checked for that one. So it would have to be all the way back in the gatehouse. So let's pull that back up here. See if we see any obvious gaps just scanning visually. And there it is. Right there. fairly straightforward to identify and remedy. So, now, the last thing we have to do here as I push this to the back is I'm going to pull out my keyboard, open up a note file that you can't see very clearly, for better or for worse. Goodness, I haven't made a note since June. I mean, I guess that makes sense given sort of what the year has looked like. Lots of parts I'm going to have to order. So I'll say 16 March 2026, and for set Battle for Alamut. And luckily, at the end of these instructions, we have a handy part list with the piece numbers. So what we're going to do is we know... Oh, that's not very clear. All right, so we need 1 times 45, 69, 383 goes for build for the building. And that was the only piece that was really missing there, as I recall. Oh, actually, that's not true. We need... And that goes building top. Then we need 1 times... Don't forget we need those 1x6 and 2x6 tan plates. So we need a 41 24067 and 41 13 993 for building steps. Very, very easy to see that one. For the walls, we needed one of those brown connectors that held the flagpole up. And its part number is 45 31 751, hold flag. Up at the top of the palace, we need 1 times 45 68 951, and there it is, 41 44 024. This is for the trebuchet. And 2 times, what's the part number here? I can see it. 44 96 69 9 by trebuchets. That's our 1x2 tan tiles. And I think that completes the buildings for us. So then we're going to go onward to our minifigures. And there we are going to need a couple of things. So we need 1 times 45 41 496 pants. 2 times, actually I think we need 4 times, four, 5, 6, 7, 3, 3, 8. That's for our ballista or our arrow cart. And just 1, 4, 5, 3, 8, 7, 2, 1. We need a black cape. 41, 24, 171. And black weapon rack for our protagonist, which is number, at least I think it was black. No, it's dark brown, which is probably going to be considerably harder to find, unfortunately. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 5, 2. And I think... What was this guy missing? What was this guy missing? Is he missing the cape? Yeah, this must be the one that was missing the cape. For this one, let's make sure this is in light bluish gray. I think that just about covers it, because I don't think that we had any... Yeah. Cool. All right. Now, so as I said, in the final order, what's going to happen here is that particular building, this is going in our buildings. It's going in our street display, looking very nice. And the rest is going into our desert area. So now, let's open up the other one. That was 75-73 Battle of Alamet. Next up, we're going to do 75-71. What's the Battle of Alamet? And let's see, maybe with the fight for the dagger, we'll be a little bit more lucky in terms of having all the parts. This one is a small 258-piece set. So again, under normal conditions, this would probably take us less than 20 minutes, maybe as little as 16 minutes to assemble. But that's going to depend on a couple things, including the state of completeness of the set, and so on. Right off the bat, we have our minifigure case. And I think I'm feeling it's looking pretty promising. Here's that weapon rack we were talking about earlier, because of course we're going to make another copy of our Prince of Persia. It looked promising, but I think we're actually missing a few parts here. So, Prince of Persia, oh no, he has his pants. Maybe not. I actually think this copy might be complete, which would be very lucky. You'll see our camel. Move our camel forward. Let's move our camera down. Let's get going with this guy. Again, when these pieces came out, I thought this was just the coolest thing since beans. Here he goes. I thought he was supposed to have a smile. I actually think this one is his head, even though it's stuck in the turban. There we go. Reset our music. It took us exactly one playlist to get through here. So this one's complete. That will make this street vendor guy. He seems like a mere harmless... Oh, this is a wonderful torso. Oh my goodness. I should have bought so many of the small sets for this when they came out. He seems like a harmless street vendor trying to offer you chicken, but actually what he offers you is death. Or maybe the dagger is for slicing up the chicken. I don't know. I didn't see the movie. There we go. Now we're going to have another guardsman. This one's got a gold chest plate. I love all these guards. I'm trying to think if I actually have a particularly reasonable place to put them all in the desert, or if they should be their own faction, or what. This golden guard, I'm thinking this is like a captain of the guard, because he looks more fancy than any of those other guys we saw, and he's got the fateful dagger that was hidden so carefully in that building earlier. And he's got a spear, too. So, and then last but not least, we have our wonderful camel, which is currently missing its saddle, but it must be in the next bag, and our beautiful love interest with an absolutely gorgeous dress piece. Here we go. A nice, well mascaraed Lego minifigure head, which I've never seen before, and that all kind of does it. Onward we go to the instructions proper. Again, we probably just used up 50 pieces right there, meaning we've only got about 50 in here. I'm thinking this is a complete set. So we'll pop this out. Here's the saddle for our camel, right off the bat, with a cylinder stuck inside. Say that 20 times fast. And then we've got some crates laden with goods, which is actually super cool because this camel is going to be able to carry all this stuff. So we have red, white, and green gems in the one. Let's give it a top and a clip. And then in the other one, we've just got a bunch of cherries. It seems kind of strange that the same camel would be carrying, on the one hand, produce, and on the other hand, extremely valuable. There's nowhere that gemstones are of that size are not valuable. They're the size of like a minifigure's head, so I don't know. And we can just loop that right through the camel. And that's actually kind of neat to see how it just sort of wiggles there. And then because the poor camel just can't catch a break, he's also got all of this to carry. Unlike the last set, our cones are not all broken here. Our cylinders are still intact. Oh, here's the last one. Come on, set. I had high hopes. There it is. We need another 2 clips. Oh, this is the post where the camel is tied down, which actually might be what I do with this set. Like I might here just make some camel parking beside the other one. There we go. And we use this interesting little construction to tie the camel down here. Like so. I don't actually think that's particularly effective, but from a distance, it works. Now we've got a produce stall. We're making all these little side builds before we get to the main building. And this is going to have basically the rest of our veggies. So here's another 2 cherries. And 1 green apple just laying haphazardly to the side. Okay. Now we've got a whole apple cart. We don't have a Lego cabbage piece, do we? Although I feel like there might be some pieces that have been used as cabbage. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there was this old Lego theme called Exoforce, which was sort of set in like a mecha Japan, mechas versus robots, AI of revolution type of deal. And they introduced a spiky anime, spiky hairpiece, you know, like a Goku hairpiece in light green and neon light green. And I feel like I've seen a Lego set in the last 15 years or so that used that sort of piece, that hair piece, as cabbage. So with a little bit of ingenuity, we could actually turn this apple cart into a cabbage cart if we really wanted to. All right, I need 1 more tan stud, I think. Yep, there it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a complete set, which is very nice. One set had an arrow cart, the other set had an apple cart, made with highly similar techniques. Now, I don't know how you're supposed to make your apples stay in this cart here. But what do I know? All right, now we're going to build the building. But first, what's the first thing that we always do? We check the space profile. So our depth appears to be little more than 8 deep, which is going to give us a lot of extra space in front. And then our width is kind of interesting, because it looks like our width might be 6, 12, 13, 14 plus 8. 14 plus 8 is going to be 22, so almost 24. These 24 wide sets are a little bit tricky to put in a base plate, but if we put 2 24 wide sets beside each other, then we get a 32 and a 16, which is going to be considerably easier to work with. But those are all things I'll look at off camera tomorrow while I'm planning out what I need to actually buy. So in the meantime, already seeing a lot of pieces that are very similar to the parts we were just building the last set with. That's nice. Architectural integrity. And nothing is stuck together on this set. So again, Getting through 200 pieces is going to take us like 15 minutes or less. So, here we go. Actually, I said nothing is stuck together, but I was not. There's a few things that are stuck together just for ease of access rather than anything else. Similar parts. Here's our clay-colored arches. Then this here is facing outward. When I was giving my list of sets that sort of are going to comprise this Mediterranean quarter for us earlier, I mentioned Disney Wish, I mentioned Disney Raya and the Last Dragon, I mentioned Lego Dreams, and then Prince of Persia. There's actually one more. There's a beautiful, beautiful new, I think it's a spa or a bathhouse set. And I can't recall if it's from, I think it's from the Lego Friends line that Lego just released this year. So when I'm ordering parts tomorrow, I'm definitely be thinking about what is the space profile of that beautiful set. And then I can basically lay out my entire Mediterranean quarter all at once, which is going to be pretty neat. It's very time-consuming to identify and order parts, though. That's kind of the one problem. And you can easily come up with a backlog if you can spend day after day building sets like this, but then if you never order the parts, you can never put them away, and you just start getting clogged up, which is one of the problems I've had pretty recurrently, and one reason why I'm really trying to put together a proper workflow once I move. Because if you don't buy the parts, then nothing ever leaves your house. If nothing ever leaves your house, you run out of space, like, immediately. Versus running out of space slightly more slowly if you have if you're being conscious about what you're doing. That probably doesn't make any sense. I basically, like I've said before, I store the actual city in a different place than I build the city. It's in a different room entirely, so. All right, we've got our play feature here. We're going to have a trapdoor where you can fall down, but you're only falling in minifigure terms. If that's 6 feet, it looks like you're only falling maybe 7 or 8 feet down, so I don't know that anybody's going to be too debilitated by this particular play feature. All right, here's some cheese slopes. Now we have a collapsing balcony, which is another interesting play feature. Push that back for a moment. And that can go right there. So again, this time, you pull out the pin, and the balcony collapses. Again, just a neat little play feature. I actually like that one a little better than the... Well, the trapdoor would be fine. It's just not particularly high, is it? So now let's get to work back here. Again, this is some cool architecture. It was neat for LEGO to make a foray into this kind of architecture, but most people, when they were buying this, either they were big fans of the movie, like Anakin, or they wanted those camels. And I remember noticing the camels at the time, but it's only been more recently that I've really started to pay attention to what pieces come out and so on. Gosh, if they came out today, people would be buying them in droves. just be going on to pick a brick and ordering just the camel without the set. But they didn't, so they're still pretty rare. Now, over here, the set invites us to go ahead and use the staircase this way, but that's going to make the space profile pretty broad. Okay, let's check this again. So we have 8, 16, and this takes us to 20. And then this is sort of 21 over here, although I think I can work with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a slight adjustment here. Let's shift this around. So that staircase is up in the front, and this is not, and this is only 20 wide rather than 26 wide, which is kind of an awkward number to work with. So here we go. Again, we're working with the pieces we've got here. It's going to look something like this. It's actually going to be a little bit unstable if I'm not careful here. Oh, there we go. That's what it is. And now we'll start filling in the top. Actually, I can still move this to the left again. So we can do that. And we can do this. Yeah, okay. Let's do a count again. So we've got 8, 9, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 is going to leave us 2 shy of the mark, so I'm actually pretty happy with that as our space profile. That allows us to leave basically 1 stud on either side and be a 24, and like we said, we have a 24 plus a 24. 8, 16, 24, and 24 is the same as 16 and 32. So those are going to look very easy side by side. Or we can add something else in between them, or we can have 2 8-wide builds, which I know we have at least 1 8-wide build from the Disney's Lego Wish theme. So we're going to have lots of choices when I lay this all out as a street tomorrow. Now we're going to build the same structure 4 times here. There's 1. Two. Something else that's very interesting about this set is the number of distinct parts is pretty low, even for a set with just 250 parts. There's a lot of part reuse. Like the overall list of parts is probably only like, gosh, it's probably pretty small, especially once you exclude the minifigure pieces. I like that. I like it's a very, very cost-efficient set in that way, which is partly why they were probably able to get so many Lego minifigures into the set without driving the cost out particularly high. 4 minifigures, including unique prints, and the camel. Yeah. And number 4. Then we'll do some more of these, like so. Again, giving us a bit of homogeneity in the sections of our street. This. And adding that water fountain in front of the palace building back there is really going to it's going to tie it together with the blues of the rest of the street, beyond just having the white and gold, which is going to be very pleasant. We just knocked over the camel back there, but you can't see it. Oh, yeah, you can. You can see it through the... That's a really funny shot, actually. I might have to clip that. Okay, there we go. And let's go for the finishing touches here. Get this thing built on up. Get some white cheese pieces. There's 8 of them, again. And another similar minaret that is, again, going to really visually tie this together with the buildings to the side. And the end, we weren't missing a single piece from this rare find, which is super nice. Now, just a little bit more here. We have to make kind of the market stall. So here's this. We'll put one down here as well. We've got some torches. And then we've got some fish for sale. I really need to watch this movie. I want to see this this merchant guy just like go from unassuming merchant to, hey, here's my knife. I'm coming for you. All right, so this is folded in a very interesting way. What's this? I'm thinking this is going to be the upper level. Put that like so. And another fish hanging back here. Fin out. And there we go. We'll put this in its spot. That's pretty effective. Actually, that looks really nice. Cool. Look at that. So again, there's kind of the whole street together, complete with our downed camel. Honestly, this was a really fun night of building. Like, we can do a little bit of a panorama along with the random black bear that's not supposed to be here exactly. Here, we'll get the bear point of view. Incredible. So we have castle from Raya and the Last Dragon, downed camel, 2 rare camels. We have the palace. We've got these gates and walls that we're going to put in our desert. And then finally, we got that merchant shop, complete with my new favorite LEGO minifigure, Deadly Merchant. And that's that. That's our sets from LEGO Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. So, thanks for joining. This was it was fun to build this, and I don't know. I'm actually not done streaming for the night. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we're actually going to come back and do a little bit of Pokopia over in the video game category. But if you were watching for the LEGO piece, thanks for joining. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. If you happen to just be coming over from the other stream I was doing, hey, let's jump right into it. So this is going to be a great one today. We've had a big success in Pokopia lately, so I've been doing a good job of coming on and just, doing my dailies, even when I don't have a real time to do much else that's interesting. But while I was doing that, we had a big success, which is that our Pokemon Center is done. So we're going to come right off the load screen, wiggle Diglett out of bed. Diglett, it's not Ditto. I could be Diglett too. And we're going to go straight in, and we're going to open up this Pokemon Center and see if we get any new cutscenes or anything. So let's take a look. And then the other thing you'll recall we did on Session 5 was we built a ton of habitats. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to see all the new Pokemon that came in from our habitats. We got a Porygon stamp today. That's pretty neat. Quickly check out our challenges. We got to talk to people, grow plants. That's going to be an annoying one, and give a present. And then in our shop, we have one recipe for the information board. We'll go ahead and take that. And then we have tall potted plant and a torch. The last thing I'm going to say, actually, we won't even say that. Let's go right ahead. Let's talk to this guy. Not Professor Tangrowth. I want to talk to Drilber, Timber. The Wasteland Pokemon Center is done. Let's see, guys. Boom! We must still be missing something to get the humans back. There must have been other places besides here where humans live together. It could be interesting to look for them. But that was our important request, rebuild the Pokemon Center. You can fully restore your power points at the healing machines in the Pokemon Center. What's going on here? I feel like I've got some lag all of a sudden. Alright, so the next thing we're supposed to do is go on to any other areas. But I don't really want to do that. What I actually want to do is... Oh yeah, we got so much money for that. I want to raise this environment level to 10. And from what I've heard, less important than the overall, than the happiness of each Pokemon is just the number of Pokemon we have. So, we also have this Hoppip for the Hoppip event that we could talk to. So let's start with that. Let's go ahead and talk to Hoppip and get our event moving. And Hoppip can grow. They're telling us that our cotton spores are on the Dream Island, and luckily, I have got all kinds of... Where are you going, Hoppip? I have collected a ton of cotton spores already, more than a full stack. Thanks, Timber. I'm glad that we're BFFs. I really don't need vine rope, though. I'm kind of curious where Hoppip is trying to go, because I would like to trade with Hoppip for, like, its recipes and stuff. Alright, should we go into the Pokemon Center for the first time? Let's do that. Aw. I need to evacuate with the others pretty soon. But first I'm planning to go take one last look at the cities my partner and I visited together. It's hard to explain why, but I feel the need to do this. I'm wondering if this is our trainer's journal. Okay, so this place, the 3D printer, can create copy of items from a photograph. You'll need Pokemetal to create copies. Object mode lets you take the photos you need for creating copies of items. So you can boot up the camera, then switch modes with Y before taking a photo. You can even create copies from photos you take on Cloud Islands or in other players' towns. So I can hold 20 reference images. That's actually pretty cool. That's a pretty cool item. And it looks like in terms of these decorations here, magazine rack. No, I don't want to mess up the Pokemon Center. Let's put that back. Okay, so now I can talk to Hoppip and I can start exchanging spores for all these items. And over here, welcome to the Pokemon Center. Would you like to rest your tired Pokemon? I think I'm okay for right now. But what I do want to do... Here's a question. How do I get... How do I get the habitat information? Because I don't want to just... I mean... I feel like I remember... Let's see. I got 5 bags of dandy flower seeds. Okay. So this is going to need to be the first one I do because this is a habitat for hoppet. And then I guess I'll just go ahead and start buying all the rest of the things. And so I want this. I got the flowery table setting. So I'm going to I am going to... I really want to know where I can get hints for the habitat. Like, this event should tell me... This event should, like, be telling me... Oops, I didn't mean to go into this person's house. Bit of a drab house, but, you know, at least they've got somewhere. And it just looks like a secret lair. Okay, so let's get out all the rest of our cotton spores. There we go, 99. So I know how to make hoppet's habitat. It's the four drab flowers together. But as for everything else, let's just start buying. Sort of a classic, almost Animal Crossing type event here. You know, collect currency, buy one of each item. I want this. And with a little luck, I've actually already got enough cotton spores from the last few days to go ahead and buy everything. Ooh, maybe not. We'll see. Hoppet water bottle. It's looking good. It's definitely looking good. Lunchbox. Juice trio. These are cute items. All right, so there we go. So I got down from about 150. Hey, Zoe, welcome to the stream. I got down from about 150 cotton spores down to like 50. So it took me about 100 cotton spores to buy everything I needed, which isn't that bad. We've still got this many left. Let's hold the sort. So I know at the end of the day, we can make this all happen. I'm having a pretty good day, actually. I'm not going to be streaming for too long here, but we just finished up the main story quests for this first area in Pokopia. So now kind of the focus is we're just going to try to, you know, get all these Pokemon. So let's talk about who I've gotten so far. Or when we last finished up the stream, we had just tons of habitats that we made. Let's inspect this trace. Yeah, I mean, I love the game. Everybody's been raving about it. Seaside tall grass habitat. We're already working on this one. Yeah, I love the game. Let's go around. So we only got one Pokemon off stream, and that was Wartortle. Let's see if Wartortle's around here somewhere. Yeah. I don't see Wartortle, but we got a Wartortle. So that was the first new Pokemon we got. I absolutely think you should try the game. I mean, watch me play on the stream for a little bit here. You can see it's very cozy. Oh, we got a Sligo. Yeah, you should totally check it out. And, I mean, one of the reasons that I think everybody likes this so much is, you know, all these Pokemon, they have these little personalities. Got this one from my Hydrated Tall Grass. There we go. So we have Wartortle's home, and then we have Sligo's home as well. And then we have some hydrated flower beds. I do normally have a schedule for streams, yes. It's been a little bit up in the air because I'm preparing to move, and my streaming setup and everything is, one, it's getting packed up, and two, it's going to be better in the new place. But most of the time, I stream about 12 noon to 5 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. I do Lego streams. And then I do Wednesday nights. I would say it's kind of random. When I'm doing the video game streams, it's kind of random, but I think Wednesday night is pretty standard. There's our Wartortle. All right, let's talk to Bulbasaur. Guys, I'm telling you, I planted so many habitats here. Like, we're about to get like 20 Pokemon all at once, and we'll see how much it makes our environment level raise. All right, who have we got? Bellsprout. Oh, Bellsprout. I'm not sure that you're going to get your wish here, but it's okay. Tree-shaded tall grass. And Bellsprout litters, which means it'll drop useful items near its home. Thank you, Zoe. Good to have you, even if it's just for a moment. I really hope you check out the game. It's pretty fun. So, I really like these litter Pokemon. I like that they just randomly give us resources. Oh yeah, this Heracross. I think that's the other Pokemon that I got off stream. Let's see how Heracross is doing today. Yeah, share it. Go for it. Let's see. Who lives here? Whose house is this? This is Hoot Hoot's house. So, what I like about this house, see this honey here? Oddish is another Pokemon that litters. Or not Oddish, Combi is another Pokemon that litters. So it just drops random. It just drops like random items around this environment. So I want to go ahead and bring... I would really like to take that Bellsprout and bring it somewhere where it can litter. Because otherwise it's going to be dropping its useful items around here, and it's going to take me a while to see that from time to time. So I kind of feel like... Who is this? This is Scyther's home. Can I kick Hoot Hoot out of this house? Yeah, I would need to... Okay, so this is going to be... We're going to learn how to do something here. Zoe, I think that's awesome that you've been doing that. I bet you've really helped some folks out with what you've done. Some of my Lego streams, I'm starting to have some of it work out a little bit better. In terms of being... I would like to see... I'm not going to look at them right now while I'm on the stream. But if you've dropped some links, I'll definitely check them out once I'm done. This is a quick stream since it's just the middle of the work night. Okay. Pretty flower bed. We've got Hoot Hoot. So what I'm going to need to do here... Scared of links. Well, how are you going to show me then? I got to have a way to find it somehow. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we are going to need to get 4 wildflowers from our dream island. We'll bring those wildflowers back. We'll drop them right here. We'll bring Hoot Hoot back here, and then we'll get Bellsprout into Hoot Hoot's house, allowing us to collect all our littered items at once. I'm pretty active on IG, actually. Let me drop in the chat. I can go ahead and put my IG. There we go. So that's my Lego IG. And I've definitely got some new posts that are coming up. Gonna keep pulling people out here. Here's a Venonat. I think this is going to be a pretty unusual stream. I don't know that I've seen that many streams where people just suddenly get like 20 new Pokemon. What's my Pokédex going to tell me here? Ooh, I've earned recipes as a reward for discovering a lot of Pokemon. Let's keep going. Alright, we got a Hitmonlee. Oh boy. Stop kicking me. Why Hitmonlee is in the urgent care, I really don't know. And Hitmonlee can trade, so that means it can go behind the Pokemon Center and offer me stuff. I might want to move Hitmonlee's habitat over into the same area as Hitmonchan. I think that'd be a cool interaction. And then here we've got this guy, Girder. Girder is also attacking me, just like Hitmonlee, which is pretty funny. Thanks for posting your IG, Zoe. Yeah. Large luggage carrier. And now we have 2 different Pokemon that can build. All right. Give me a second. Let me grab that. I did get your follow request. Let me go ahead and add you. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see some of your visuals, so I went ahead and requested. Cool. I feel like Hitmonchan wanted to talk to me about something. They want a bright light. I'm not going to do that right now. Let's see, we got Gulpin, Scyther. I do want to bring all these items over into Hitmonchan's place, and then maybe I'll make this... so many things. Okay, a stool, the med pack, and that, and I'll say Hitmonlee, a promising individual. He's got a little accent. Right, and then while I'm at that, let's go ahead and drop these dandy flower seeds so that we can go ahead and get our, what's that Pokemon called? Our Hoppip to have a nice home as well. But these are going to need to grow overnight. Now, I guess we need to water them as well. I hope that works. A lot of things to keep track of, but also while I'm at it, let's grab a light for Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. Because I think I have a ton of these mushroom lights. Yeah. All right, so here's Hitmonlee's place. Here's Hitmonchan's place, and we're going to add Hitmonlee in here too. So we've got a log chair. We've got a log table. And then we need to put that med pack back. So that's interesting that it didn't register that as a habitat. See if we can get this. There we go. I think that actually successfully created the habitat again. So let's bring Hitmonlee back over. And then I'm going to say, would you like to live here? At the urgent care. And that way we have Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan together. And let's go ahead and place this decoration for Hitmonchan, who was like, it's dark in here. Now it's a bit brighter. Sure, I'll take a gift. Oh my gosh, I hate when I pick up these border pieces. I want the honey. The environment level increased. Okay, we got up to 5, guys. That's awesome. And harvest veggies is complete. So I want Bulbasaur. So I'm having Bulbasaur follow me because I want it to try to use its grow specialty on those wildflowers we planted. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but if it does, that'll complete the quest for us. Luckily, Bulbasaur is pretty fast. All right, can you... Yes, perfect. And that's going to complete our grow quest, which is great. Oh, wow. Also, it immediately made the habitat for us. That's interesting. It looks like 3 different Pokemon can potentially come to this habitat. But what I want is I want Hoppip to follow me and live there. Let's not forget. And that way Hoppip can stay around even after this seasonal event is done. And actually, Bulbasaur, we can part ways too. Thank you. I guess Hoppip won't follow me because it's too busy doing its event, but it doesn't matter because we made its environment, meaning I guess it'll be fine even once the event is over. In fact, maybe that's like an event Hoppip, and we'll get another Hoppip once the event. I don't know. I'm just talking out of myself here. Next up, we've got this Excadrill. Now that's cool. And this is another Pokemon that can chop for us. Cool. I have 87 beans, so I don't think I need to harvest my beans today. Again, we need to get to our Dream Island to get flowers for Hoot Hoot. So, but let's go ahead and check our quests. There's level 5. New challenges and new items. And immediately completed a bunch of these challenges, which is nice. Still need to give somebody a present, so let's go ahead and give... You know, Slowpoke is doing his best. Professor Tangrowth is very happy that we brought the town to level 5. Raise the environment level. Okay. Oh, are we getting a cutscene? Please accept this memento. We got party poppers! And we can use these to startle Pokemon. Okay, I want to talk to... Hey, Bulbasaur. Oh, I appreciate getting a gift from you. I don't really need glow mushrooms, though. But you know what? I'm going to give you a gift. Yes, an Excadrill showed up here. You can go find them. Here, have a bean. It's for you. And no, it's definitely not just because I need to complete the daily gift presents quest. I promise. Amazing. So now we got loads of Pokemoney. We brought Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee together. What's Scyther going on about? Oh, a great photo op is happening. Are they having a chopping competition? They might be. Maybe the photo op was over here. Yeah, I think I took too long. Okay. What's slowpokes do? I must have accidentally destroyed slowpoke's habitat. I know I destroyed Drifloon's habitat. There's a reason for that. Okay, let's find... I need to find Charmander. And Charmander is home. Alright, Charmander, we have a job. The reason I'm grabbing Charmander here is because there's a couple of habitats that I put up on the ridge. That I need to light on fire. Alright, can you light all this for me, Charmander? Yes. Alright, whose habitat is this? A campsite habitat. That is for... We don't know who that's for yet. Alright, one more Charmander. Perfect. And there's a new home for Drifloon, who's been unhappy. So let's go get Drifloon again. So the way, if you're wondering how I... Oh, let's have Charmander stop following us first. How I arrange my town. Basically, I've tried to make... I've tried to basically arrange this where, like, this first area is, like, a route. A route where you could imagine a bunch of wild Pokemon being. There we go. Want to move in here? Perfect. What's up, Gulpin? Everybody wants to give me presents. Okay, so this, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to move Girder. Sorry, I just destroyed your home. Yeah, I know you're not happy about that, but I'm going to give you a new one. Just moving everybody around. I guess that's just about all the habitats we've got unlocked for now. So Timber's back here, so let's put Girder on the back of this dojo. Girder's like, why have you brought me here? Where is my home? There you go. Tell you what, would you like to live here? There you go. Alright, so now we've brought Timber and Girder together, just like we brought Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee together. So what else did we say we were going to do? Where is Slowpoke's home? What happened to Slowpoke's home? Let's think about this. Oh, you know what? I have an idea. So some of these Pokemon, I think their habitats basically get disrupted. This was Slowpoke, right? Oh my gosh, she's going to be so slow. That's fine. In the meantime, let's test out that 3D printer function that we saw earlier. Because if I remember correctly, fishing rod. Go. There we go. All right, let's see if I've got this right. You want to move in here, Slowpoke? How about that? Because that fishing habitat, basically I noticed that there were some new versions of the environment that that I still need to make. So where would I see requests? Team initiation challenge. We need to grow more vegetables for that. That's the camera. Return to home. Habitat decks. So basically here is where we can see which habitats we've got like completely filled out. So there's one more Pokemon that can come from a fresh veggie field. We've got that ready to go, etc., etc. So illuminated bench. Venonats could live here, but there's something else that can spawn here. Now, I don't have any way to illuminate to give power to something quite yet, so... Where's the one I'm looking for? We still have 2 more Pokemon that can spawn at the large luggage carriers. And 2 Pokemon that can spawn at the road sign. I don't think I have an arrow sign yet, though. If I did, this would be really easy. Aha! I think these are... No, wait, they're not. Let's see if we can find our sort of... You know, our event-specific. Okay, here's Magikarp. So the ocean fishing spot, all it takes is a seat and a fishing rod. And the fishing pond takes a seat and a fishing rod. So I have 4 more Pokemon I can get. 4 more Pokemon I can potentially get with fishing rods, but no fishing rods to go around. And similarly, aha! Event habitat decks. Well, I guess that doesn't really help us because... Oh well. But here is a Pokemon clue. We love a clue. Slowking being our 3rd Pokemon that can appear in Seaside Tall Grass. And we've made a couple of Seaside Tall Grasses. So we're kind of ready for that. And we're just gonna hang out. We're gonna keep basically doing exactly this loop until we've got just about all the Pokemon that can spawn from the habitats that we can currently create. And luckily, our little friends here will tell us when there's, you know... You know, actually, I want to put Drillbur and Excadrill together as well. So let's get that Drillbur to follow us. Heading out with my bestie. Wow, Drillbur has great energy. Something else we can work on eventually is, is what? Filling out the road. Finishing this brick road. I hope I didn't just make this guy homeless. No, Excadrill's home, Drillbur's home. Look at that, guys. See? That's kind of cool. And now the other bean plant place is ready to produce the 3rd and final Pokemon that can come from there. And look, we brought Drillbur. Ah, guys, we're starting to make whole Poke families. Okay. Let's see. I know I don't have any fishing rods, but maybe I've got some signs. I might not. I don't think I have any signs yet. Next question, can I craft signs? Arrow sign. I don't think so. If you give a star piece to a Pokemon visiting from far away, they'll give you a gift in return. Hitmonchan, why are you following me? What else can we craft? We haven't really checked all this in a while. And I wonder what these check marks are. Do they mean that we've built the item from our thing before? Because it doesn't mean it's not new. Yeah, I think check marks are things that we've actually crafted from this menu previously. Look at all these items. Alright, we're in great shape, and I don't want to stay up all night. And I think that we've actually pretty much made the habitats that, or greeted the Pokemon that we have the ability to greet today. We only have 4 honey, but let's see what Vespiquen is offering. How about you give me a fishing rod? Plain stand, chic table, guest room bed, or antique chair. I mean, how do I know? Let's get a guest room bed. That's a new item at least. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some inventory cleanup. Because I want to go to my dream island. Most of this is Hoppip stuff, which I don't want to get rid of yet. There's a few raw materials we can drop off, though. It's like sturdy stick, leaf, mushrooms, lumber, vines. We have an excess of lumber. And then all this stuff is Hoppip. Beautiful seeds, bean seeds, and dandyflower seeds. I don't want to do anything with the dandyflower seeds yet. So we can put those away. And the beautiful flower seeds away. And the bean seeds. And the cotton spores, we could actually get more stuff. Okay. There's a method to the madness. There's a guest bed, picnic blanket. You can only use each party popper once. I don't know what the party poppers are for quite yet. So I'm definitely curious about that. I'd also love to have a use for my excess lumber. I mean, I guess I can carry it for now, and if I need to drop it, I need to drop it. Let's sort up here. Oh, wow. Okay, so Pokemetal and rare Pokemetal are apparently different. So I literally cannot go make 5 fishing rods because I don't even have 5 rare Pokemetal. That's definitely informative. And as for my Stardust, I'm actually not entirely sure where it went to. I know I used 99 of it, but I thought I had a little bit more. Oh, here it is. More Stardust and moss. Not entirely clear what I'm trying to save in that last one. So let's sort again. And now what I think we can do, because I don't see anybody else, any other wiggling patches of the grass. Oh, pokey hint. That's what we want. Flower garden. We need hedges. I don't have hedges. That's okay. These guys are happy. What's up with you, Venonat? You want food. I mean, I can give you food. That's like the easiest thing to give. Surely Venonat's like beans. There you go. I'm also going to move this stool. That was the stool that Tangrowth had us sit on back at the beginning of the game. But, you know, it's been a little while since then. Okay, so we came back up here. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to, like, we're going to make a beautiful environment. Table setting goes on the table. Flower cushion goes beside the flower table. And if I'm clever enough, lunchbox, hop-up water bottle, juice trio, garland, backpack, picnic blanket. Oh, that's huge. Maybe this is supposed to go underneath all this stuff. If you can't tell, I'm basically trying to figure out if I can just guess the other event habitats for Hoppet. Where's the table? There's the table. Table setting. Cushion. I know I could look these up, but, like, they don't make it that hard. They tell you. Lunchbox. Okay, so water bottle. Juice trio. Backpack. That's it. That's all the stuff. Well, at least I've set it down, so it's not quite as much in my way. Maybe I'll be able to figure it out later. I'll look it up later. Actually, no. I'm going to look it up right now. Hoppip event habitats. All right. Field trip friends and dandelion lunchtime. Dandelion lunchtime is dandy flowers, lunchbox, flower cushion, and flowery table setting. And the other one is backpack, water bottle, and lunchbox. So I didn't need the juice set. This is the lunchbox, right? Backpack, water bottle, and lunchbox. And that's a habitat. There we go. And then this one is dandy flowers, lunchbox, flower cushion. I think that's a flower cushion, and flowery table setting. So I need another lunchbox, and I need my dandy flowers, which is fine. So I'm actually going to go by... This has been pretty productive, actually. We've raised our environment level by 1. Again, I'm more interested in getting the Pokemon to spawn from the habitats, which I can keep doing off-screen. And I can just keep coming back when I have them. Okay, lunchbox. I want this. Yes. And I want more dandy flower seeds. I want this. I would also love if you would follow me, Hoppip, but I guess you're more interested in selling to me. Alright, if we see Bulbasaur, Bulbasaur is coming with us. There we go. Bulbasaur, follow me. Or Bellsprout. I really need to get Bellsprout to come with me. Which is a reminder that that's sort of the last thing we're working on for the day. Lunchbox. And dandy flower seeds. And I'm going to water those. Thank you. Why didn't that work? Backpack, water bottle, lunchbox. Oh, I think I kind of understand why. I think I need to take this cushion and put it here, because it wants to be in kind of a square. Cushion, table setting, lunchbox, dandy flowers. So I can put it here, or maybe even here. Nope. Well, let's put it in the obvious place first. Bulbasaur, come with me. Nope. Dandelion lunchtime. Dandy flowers. Lunchbox. Flower cushion. And flowery table setting. Wow, I hear somebody like stomping around underground. Flowery table. I need a vase. I don't have a vase yet. What is that sound? The rain keeps putting these campfires out. Oh, wow. Did you guys see that? There was like a tornado or something. Okay. It was like that way. As soon as I can get this thing built. This is the flowery table setting, right? Maybe it doesn't realize that I'm using it because I have a flowery table. Let's try it just like this. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, fine, whatever. I'm still putting my flowery table down on the picnic blanket, and you can't stop me. Candy flower seeds, juice trio. Putting my juice trio also. Alright. So the last two things we have to do are we want to get those flowers from the Drifloon Island. In fact, where is Drifloon in general? Oh, we got a new spawn. See, look at this. This is what they do. They kind of tell you. Is it in the water or is it in the grass? It's in the grass. Illumisa. Hydrated flower bed, and it can hype. Will start dancing when they hear music, improving the mood. That's kind of cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for telling me there was a new Pokemon there. Now I need Drifloon. If anybody sees Drifloon, let me know. Actually, we have so many Pokemon out that now I probably have to start using honey for habitats, which is kind of annoying. There's never enough honey. Thanks, Drifloon. Drifloon, we are going on a mission. I mean, this is pretty good, guys. We built our Pokemon Center. We built all 3 habitats for the event Pokemon. And we confirmed that we've already got enough cotton spores for, like, everything we could need from the event. That's not half bad for, 40, 50 minutes. So let's just whip through. We can probably stop gathering cotton spores now. But we'll still gather our Stardust. So let's do a quick loop of our island here. So, order of operations. Stardust, flowers, loot the island, swap those last 2 homes, and then I think we're actually done for the day. We've still got a few habitats that are loading. And then I forgot to mention, there's actually a whole nother area that we haven't explored yet within this first zone. So we'll go explore there. That'll probably be the thing we do next, like tomorrow. Again, can't really stay up all night today. That was a few more. I need, like, Reveroom to just, like, absolutely go tearing down this beach at high speed. Okay, so there's the first loop. Let's go ahead and explore our first house. Because now habitat information is, like, more valuable than ever. I love how I never open the door. I always just yoink the door instead. Why open the door when you can steal it instead? Pokemetal ingots, that's nice. I'm going to turn over to Rototiller so I can gather flowers for Hoot Hoot. 1. Put away. 2. Put away. The one thing we did not get very many of today is 3 and 4. We did not get very much Stardust this time. There's our first cave. Oh great, this is going to give us another piece of marble. Okay, here's habitat information. Wow. That is a lot of items. Let's just go ahead and break all of this. Go. See, it gives you like that prefab gives you exactly 1 piece of marble, but you want to have a marble floor someday. You gotta start somewhere. All right, while I'm looking around, let's think about who all we brought together today. We brought together Drillbur and Excadrill, Timber and Girder. Is this our second cave? Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee. We haven't brought Volbeat and Illumise together yet. This is our second cave. That's because we don't have Volbeat yet. We haven't brought our Shellos together yet because we don't have any Shelloses. What do we think's gonna be that here? Just some moss? Or a deeply buried human habitat? Oh yeah, here we go. This is the good stuff. Because, like, who knows when this is going to become important to have these drums and trash. Ooh, weather report. No warnings or reports about volcanic eruptions. Maybe volcanoes are what went wrong here. I would really love to upgrade my punching, my rock smash, so that I could start mining this ore here, but I actually can't break it, which is very sad. It's not copper ore, it's something stronger. Okay, so there's our 2 caves. Our 1 house. We did our Stardust from the beach. So what we're missing now... have I been down there? Yes, that's where I started. We'll just go to the top. It's been actually a couple times since I've seen... a couple visits since I've last seen the little fountain. Stardust in this. Yeah, the little fountain prefab with the lamppost, like what we gave Hitmonchan. Oh, there it is. Let's yoink everything. What I like about this prefab is the bricks. Because I don't have the ability to make bricks yet. And all these stairs, these are valuable road pieces. So every couple that I get are potentially useful to us. And I can also take these, even though they drive me crazy. I actually think I'm going to remove these from my world, these brick borders. Like, because, like, I'm always, like, they don't come up when you use Vacuum Suck, but they do come up when I'm, like, you know, just trying to press Y on everything to gather a bunch of items quickly, and it drives me crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, what do we got here? Information board. And then last but not least, we scale the mountain. We're starting to actually get kind of efficient here, guys. I do wish, though, that I could get more honey per day. Like, I guess it's kind of like a timer, where they kind of want you to, like, play for a certain amount of time, and then you're rewarded by getting more honey. Oh, I fell down. Here we go. I guess I should always water my trees, huh? That seems to be the one thing that isn't happening very automatically for me. Oh, there's no tower this time. Right, because I had 2 caves, 1 house, and 1 garden, let's call that. So I guess you get 4 things in total. That was not our first Slender Candle. All right, let's get out of here. Oh, there's a Pokeball, actually. Wow, you can do, like, parkour off those. It's kind of interesting. I think I have orange pretty flowers already. But the way we check this is we Rototour them. And if it says a new item, which it does not, then we're actually already good. And look, we didn't fill up our inventory that time. So off we go. Oh, these are road pieces also. Don't you love how I just ripped the door off its hinges and that was my way of entering this house? All right, Drifloon, a successful looting operation. Thanks, Drifloon. Get some more honey from Combi yet? Yes, we did. And that is exactly why we are taking Hoot Hoot back where it came from. All right, Hoot Hoot. I'd like you to follow me. This looks like as good a spot as any. There we go. And I'd like you to move in here. Cool. And now we find our Bellsprout, who's actually super useful. I mean, I don't really need vine ropes. See, the thing is, vine ropes are really easy to gather. Actually, yeah, nobody's going to live in that house. This house is going to be empty for when somebody brings me an actually useful item. So are we good to go? I think we're pretty much have done what we needed to do today. We've made new habitats for a lot of Pokemon. Completed a bunch of challenges. Bonfire, large house, hatch window. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff. Pink hut kit, so we can start making other kinds of. You know what? I'm definitely. Oh, hey, these are those cute plaster house. So these are those little things that we've been finding as a prefab on the Dream Island, actually. So we could use a few of these. Let's buy 5 of them. Underground hatch. Okay, this is an item I've been waiting for because this lets you start to hatch window. I guess I still need like rope to fully make use of my underground hatch, but tiled roof set. But yeah, we always want to build our recipes. There's our party popper recipe. And what I'm checking for is basically any items. We also haven't built any leaf houses, but again, this looks very like campgroundsy. I mean, I guess I can build one. I'm looking for any items that relate to recipes that we've seen, but I'm not seeing any, and that's okay. All right. A great photo op is happening. Let's see if I actually catch it this time. There it is. Got it. That took a few shots, didn't it? All right, well, now I'm just wasting time, but I think we've pretty much done what we needed to do today. We did our dailies, restored the Pokemon Center, made all the Hoppip habitats, and invited lots of new Pokemon to live with us. Let's go get this item from the puddle. Recipe for roof supports. I don't know that I needed that recipe so badly, but we could also bring Wartortle and Bulbasaur together, or Wartortle and Squirtle, but anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to call that a day. That was super fun. And I guess next time our focus can basically be restoring this brick road, getting rid of these infuriating little tiles, brick borders, and going and exploring our last new area, which is that way. Actually, let me quickly run this way and see if I can find where that tornado strike was. Thinking it's pretty unlikely, though. Hey, Onyx. We noticed that the gate to the next area is open there. And again, that's what Tangrowth wants us to do next, is to go check out somewhere new. But I want to climb. I want to rise like the Dark Knight. How did I get up here before? Maybe over here? Yes. Oh man. This was like a whole town up here that just got decimated. Alright. We're looking for... What's this about? Well, none of this is... I should have sorted my inventory before I came back down here. A wreath. Amazing. Not particularly helpful, but amazing. This is just an unfinished road here. Can I just start climbing up? Because it was definitely in this direction, right? I'm going to get the you cannot continue. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, whatever it was, I don't know that I'm going to find it anytime soon. But this up here, this way, that's the next area that we're going to all explore together. So, and it's got a windmill. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a really great rest of your night. See you next time.